Good morning, coming to you again from my car. I was going to make this video last night, but I didn't get in until very late, and I'll tell you why. So first of all, this is my Humans vs. Zombies weekend update. I did not film a video on Saturday because nothing happened worth reporting. It would have been the most boring video ever. I went to work, and I went back to my room, and I was not bothered by a single zombie, so it was great. Peaceful, lovely. Yesterday, technically was... Well, I survived, obviously, so I mean, it was fine. But I worked from 5 to 9, and I got to the library at 4 because, you know, gotta be safe. And at one point, one of the zombies came in. And I was upstairs at the time, but I looked over the railing, and it was Brian Howard, the guy from my ethics class, and I see his little bandana tied around his head, and I was like, great. So then when it came time for him to leave, he walks to the double doors, he waves bye to me, and I was like, see you later, Brian. And then he just turns and stares at me. And I was like, what? And he just stared at me. It was so creepy, y'all. And I was like, oh no. And he goes, oh yeah. So I was like, great. And at this point, I already knew that they were going to be after me because I have a spy on the inside. Deanna and I do. I can't tell you his name because, oh, I just said he. Well, it's a he. I can't tell you his name because, you know, the game's still going on and I don't want him to get... I don't know. I don't know what they would do to him, because he's a zombie too, but still. His code name, well, I probably shouldn't tell you that either. He has a code name. We all have code names. It's like the cheesiest thing ever. But, so I already knew that they were going to be coming after me, so I was like, So I just decided, whatever, I'll just stay in the library until midnight. I mean, it worked. I got out at midnight, but 8 hours in the library is too many hours in the library. I was like so sick of that place by the time I left. At one point, it actually did scare me because I'd locked the doors because, you know, we closed at 9 and clocked out and everything. So at one point, somebody came and banged on the door, and I was like, ugh. But then I was like, it's a zombie, so I'm gonna go like, be like, oh, haha, can't get me. But actually, it wasn't a zombie. It was this dude who lives in A dorms, and he was like, let me in! And I was like, okay. I was like, you know, you're safe in the building, right? And he was like, oh, okay. But I let him in anyway. And then a few minutes later, Noah, one of my friends who got turned into a zombie like yesterday, he comes and has his face up in the window, and I was like, Noah, you're freaking creepy. Like, stop. He was like, don't you clock out at 9? And I was like, well, I mean... yeah, I clocked out at 9. And he was like, yeah, I waited outside for like 30 minutes. And then I was like, oh, I bet she did clock out and she's just staying in there. I was like, well, I mean, what am I supposed to do? So, and then John Hill came and, well, he called me. I was upstairs just like walking around, and he called me and he was like reading this sign to me. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then I realized he's reading the sign on the outside of the library door. So I was like, okay, first of all, you creep. Second of all, it was creepy. So I went downstairs and let him in, and he chilled with me for the last hour, and we watched like theater videos and all this stuff, and I was very talked out by the end of the night. But it was you know, he's nice, so a good friend. But anyway, so I got to my dorm, I did room checks, I got to sleep at about like, I'd say like probably 1:20. So I'm a little tired this morning, but here I am sitting in my car because I gotta study for this test I've got coming up. And that's what's on my agenda for today. I have ethics at 10:40. The really good news is because we have a test today, I get to leave early as soon as I finish the test. And I'm typically a pretty fast test taker because it's like, you either know it or you don't. So I'll probably get out of there pretty soon. I do have to be back at the admin building at 1:50. So I considered like just staying, but then I'd be in the admin building from 11 to 2, essentially. I mean, that's only 3 hours, but I don't really want to do that. But I did last night in my 8-hour library experience. I made a little schedule of all the times that I'm going to be exposed. So everything in orange is safe. So like this is all at 7:30, and then these are Tuesdays and Thursdays when the game is paused for chapel, and then everything else is when I'm going to have to be either going to my car, from my car, or like from building to building, and that's exposed. So anyway, it just kind of helps to have a visual. But yeah, that's what I'm doing today, and hopefully I will survive another day. There are, I want to say 14, we're just going to say it. There's 14 humans left, and if you count today, there's 5 days left in the game. So, I'm feeling pretty hopeful, but I'm also feeling pretty scared because I have a lot of stuff to do this week, and there's going to be a lot of times when I'm out in the open, so. Thanks for watching.